is here to share her insight and simple steps in creating breakthroughs. As America's first African-American female combat pilot and a former Marine, the security of our nation was the bottom line. FlyGirl has been out of the military for 5 years and is now the CBO, I love this title, the Chief Breakthrough Officer of her own company. And her #1 mission with us today is to connect our shared bottom line, one mission, one goal, one team. And she's here today to share her story with us. So after this short video, please welcome your officer in charge for the next few moments, FlyGirl.
Opportunities. Acknowledge the obstacles. Don't give them power. What's your passion? What's your purpose in that passion? Do what average people do. Have what average people have. I don't want to be average. Do you?
So who thought she was an employee at the street dance last night?
Did I blend
We had
in?
fun at in the line, right?
You know, I was like, oh, this is awesome. The lines. All right, everybody stick your hands up, scream, say something. All right, you know I'm posting it on Twitter, Instagram.
Have fun.
Tagging. It's all about the family. You gotta show up cute, right? So you know, things are rapidly changing. I mean, it's crazy. Our neighbors, our community. So I just wanted to have an opportunity to be real and just have a conversation. People ask me about challenges and obstacles all the time. I mean, in what we're doing, we're always running into them. So we'll talk about that. But is it okay if I share a personal story first? I think you'll get a kick out of it. I think it's funny. And it just shows how much things are really changing. This is actually a while ago. It was back in 2002, right before my first deployment to Iraq. We were doing workouts. And that was me. You saw flying attack helicopters in the video. And my buddy flew jets. Sexy jets, long runway and all that stuff, right? And her husband was also in the military, but he had nothing to do with aviation. He didn't fly, so he wore a regular uniform to work. They had an 11-year-old son. Every day he would see mom go off in her flight suit to fly jets. And he would see dad go off in his real military uniform to do real work. She has him at the officers club with us one day. And the commanding officer walks up, and I promise you, he is the epitome of what a jet jock looks like. I mean, I think the theme of Top Gun followed him around, right? And he walks up to the little guy and he says, "Well, son, what do you want to do when you grow up? You want to be a jet jock, right?" The little guy thought about it for a second. He said, "Nah, that's a girl's job." Yeah! Is that hot or what? So, you know, folks, things are changing and life does if you're living, you're going to have challenges and obstacles. And yes, turn them into opportunities. Now, no joke. You know, a lot of you have seen me walking around. We're taking pictures and selfies and hugging, and I'm playing jokes on people to saying the elevators are broken. I can't help it. And I am so surprised it didn't happen today, but it usually does happen. Chuck, where are you at? Are you in the back? You don't have to come out if you're in the back. Excuse me, sir, what's your name? Gary? All right, Gary. It's me and you. So, it's not Gary, it's usually a woman. And she'll walk up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, I love your outfit." Folks, this is not an outfit. It's a uniform. But out loud, what do I say? Thank you, that's exactly right. And she said, "Oh, you must be a pilot, right?" "Yes, ma'am." "Air Force, right?" No. Marine Corps, right? I know all my we're gonna get in trouble for that a little bit. That's all right. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, Marines! That's amazing! They're like the toughest! It's hard, it's like," wait a minute. They are the toughest. It had to be hard. I mean, and don't get me wrong, but you're a woman. You're black. And I'm thinking, yeah, I forgot when I was brushing my teeth in the mirror this morning. Did you have any challenges and obstacles? And at that point, I chuckled too. I'll be honest with you, I do. And I said, you know, everybody has obstacles. Flight school was hard, police academy was hard, army was hard. Everyone has challenges and obstacles. Even the average white guy has challenges and obstacles. Right, Gary? He said yes, by the way. And not to say you were average by any means, okay? I mean, you are on the front row. You were not average. No. All jokes aside, it's the truth. Everyone has obstacles. The key is acknowledge the obstacles. Don't give them power. Acknowledge the obstacles. Don't give them power. Now, I don't even usually share this story up front, but I don't know, I'm moved to, so I'm going to share it. I grew up in the South, and can you hear my accent? Sweet tongue. Sweet tongue? I love me some sweet tongue. And not the kind where you have to add sugar. Right. No, I want it. So my great-grandmother, when she was in her, because you know grannies have isms in the South, right? My great-grandmother, when she was in her 90s, up around 4 or 5, and my favorite grannyism was, well, I have to do it, right? She would say, "Something good's gonna come out of this." Her little body would shake all over. She'd ball up her little fist. And it could have been catastrophic, right? But great-grandmother, no matter what it was, she'd ball up those little fists, shake all over. Something good's gonna come out of this. Now, back in the 40s or 50s, I'm not sure which, great-grandmother went down to the Cadillac dealership and bought a brand new caddy off the showroom floor. Now that's a big deal. Back in the 40s, a black woman left her husband at home, went down to the dealership and bought a brand new caddy off the showroom floor. 2 days later, totaled. Oh. I know. Well, what did great grandmother say? Something good's gonna come out of this. That's right, that's right. Now, I don't know if she said it that way. Now, great grandmother said it with conviction every time. Every time. So my question, and I've said acknowledge the obstacles, don't give them power, something good's gonna come out of this. Seriously, what's your live-by phrase? When you run into the challenges, the obstacles, the rejections, you text somebody and they don't text you back, I mean, come on, I've been around direct sales. I first saw circles when I was 18. And the dream and what you're going for, what we do is amazing. It transforms people's lives. But let's be real, not everybody gets it. Not everybody's here today, right? So there are challenges and obstacles, and we run into it with our families, with our friends, let alone the people we don't even know yet, right? So the question is, how do you navigate the challenges and obstacles in every moment in your life, where you don't let the bubble get burst and the energy vampires suck all the energy out and the naysayers steal your dream? Because if it was their dream, they'd understand. It's your dream. It's not for them to get and understand. It's for you to stand and live in every moment. Now that being said, there are going to be challenges and obstacles. When I was going through, it was after training. I was in my squadron, and I had a pretty unique setup. I was the only woman in my squadron for the first couple months. The only woman pilot out of 65 pilots and 367 Marines in the squadron, right? It's crazy. Now the cool part about that was the women's bathroom. There was never a line. And it was placed strategically in the middle of the hallway. Now the thing about the hallway is it was known as the gauntlet, and you did not want to be caught in the gauntlet. Now what happens in the gauntlet? If an instructor sees a student pilot, well, we weren't students, but a co-pilot, a new pilot, walking down the hallway, they could stop them and ask them all tons of tactical questions. How much explosive is in the nose head of a Hellfire missile? How much explosive it takes to go through 3 inches of concrete? How much water can you shoot over before the wire drops down in the water? Just rapid fire, boom, 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 boom. And they could just keep you trapped there. And when the other instructors heard a little minnow trapped in the hallway, it was like blood in the water and all the sharks came out just in a rapid fire. So you wanted to get in the hall and out of the hall very quickly. I'm walking down the hall one particular morning, again, bathroom is right in the middle, and I could go in here to cram, study for a test, emotional break, whatever I needed, right? I'm walking down the hall, that one instructor turns in the hall you just don't want to see. Oh, gotta go to the bathroom. It was great. But one particular morning, I was having some challenges, and I could feel the stinging behind my eyes. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the tears were not far away. And I knew the bathroom wasn't going to be enough. So I grabbed my car keys, I drove to the beach, which was a quick 5 minutes away in Southern California. And by the time I got there, I was bawling. I was crying my eyes out. And I called up Mom, and I said, Mom, I am done. I don't have to put up with this, I don't have to deal with this, I don't have to take this anymore. I am just ready to strip these wings off, throw them around, and walk away. And they aren't only on the Velcro. It would have been easy. Mom said, baby, you did not work this hard, this long, to give up now. Stop crying, dry your eyes, and go back to work. So what did I do? I stopped crying, I dried my eyes, and I went back to work. That's right. But what was Mom essentially saying? Acknowledge the obstacles. Don't give them power. There was one specific combat mission, and there were many, but one that I will just never forget that really underlines this philosophy for me. My attack helicopter division had been out for a little over an hour, and we had been taking out a target that was known to have munitions in it. Talking about C4, explosives, landmines, rockets, missiles, anything and everything the enemy could use to make improvised explosive devices, IEDs. And unfortunately, we've all heard more about them than we would like. I mean, traumatic brain injury, amputee, and unfortunately, loss of life. All my brothers and sisters didn't make it back with us. So, needless to say, we were vigorously trying to take out this target. A little over an hour into the mission, we got a call from one of the ground controllers, and you could hear the desperation in his voice. He said, "Viper, we have Marines and soldiers pinned down north of the cemetery, and they need your help." Now, in that moment, I'll be honest, if you could have felt the acid bomb explode in my stomach, because we had been out for a little over an hour, which meant we only had 20 minutes of fuel left. And folks, that's not a lot of fuel to get up to the north of the cemetery, execute an attack, and get back to base, right? And on top of that, because we so vigorously been trying to take out this target, we only had one missile left on the aircraft. And folks, I'll be honest with you, that one missile was still on the aircraft because we hoped we didn't ever have to use it. It was known to be unreliable in close proximity to our troops. But when your Marines and soldiers are in trouble, you answer the call, right? We headed up to the north of the cemetery, checked in on station. Next ground controller checks in. This was even more desperate than the first guy. "Viper, we're pinned down. We don't have any ammunition to shoot back with. We don't even have any green smoke to mark our position. Let me know when you can see the glint from my mirror." Folks, when you were down to signaling with a mirror the size of the palm of your hand, you're in trouble. As I scanned down into that cemetery, looking for any sign of friendly forces, I saw a small glint come back. "Contact! I see you! Viper, do you see that road in front of me running from east to west? Follow it to the west. You're going to see another road that runs north and south. Follow it to the south. You're going to see a tower with a building with a tower with a blue dome on the top. Call when you're in contact that building." Followed the first road to the west. Saw the next road headed south. Saw a couple buildings, couple towers, blue dome. Contact. "Break right!" I quickly yelled out. Why? Because now small arms fire is coming out of that tower, trying to take us out of the sky. We quickly broke off to the right. We flew out over the open desert. I turned that selector switch back over to that very last missile remaining on our aircraft. We pop up over the ridge, and I am now searching, scanning for our target. Target in sight, aircraft pops up, I'm looking down on the target, finger on the trigger, waiting to come in range. But most importantly, waiting for that magical phrase, "You have permission to engage." Because once we got that permission, we were cleared to take out the target and the enemy, right? But not just cleared hot. And why were we cleared hot? Well, when rockets, missiles, bullets take out the target, they are on fire. They are incendiary. They are hot. That's right. We got our magical phrase. Missile away, I call it out. I pull the trigger. Nothing happened. Marines and soldiers on the ground, inevitably getting ready to go into hand-to-hand combat if we did not come through and that missile didn't come off the aircraft. We quickly communicated in the cockpit. We communicated with the aircraft that was covering us, behind us. I reset a couple switches, and I turned that selector switch back over to that very last missile for one final try. Why was it our last attempt? Exactly, didn't have enough fuel to come back around for a re-attack. And in a few precious moments, our aircraft would be too close to the target for the missile to be able to come off and strike, right? Pull the trigger one last time. The missile comes off the rail, hits the target. Jason in the back seat shoots all 26 rockets remaining on the aircraft. And we pull off to the right. We head back to base. We land almost out of fuel, completely out of ammo. And we can already hear the voices coming out of the ready room. And we run inside. The Marines and soldiers, what happened with the mission? Ma'am, the target was destroyed. Amazing. Because his next words were, the Marines and soldiers will be coming home tonight. I would be completely remiss if I said this mission was unique and I didn't acknowledge the other missions going on right now, because there's probably a mission just like this one going on right now, allowing us to be here in this room together. So please keep our men and women in uniform in your thoughts and prayers. Now I know Chuck already had everyone who's in the military stand up, so I'm going to ask this one. If you are a friend of, family member of, have in any way supported someone who has served, is serving, or is getting ready to serve, stand up. I have to raise your hand. Stand up, stand. Everybody look around. That is awesome. All right, go ahead and sit down. Did you all look around? Did you see that pretty much everybody was standing up? If you couldn't, then you were raising your hand. But the point, and for those that maybe didn't stand up because they didn't think they were a family or friend or supported, guess what? Cincy, we have, the sacrifice and service warmer, do we not? I mean, everyone in this room should have been standing up because we have supported the troops. And I just want to personally say thank you for that. So, the conversation, and I do look at it as a conversation, that I want to have today is about that magical phrase we got out in the desert. You have permission to engage. Same exact words, very different emphasis. Oh, see, my slide's already up. Same exact words, very different emphasis. You have permission to engage. Emphasis is on the have. Because folks, there are no ground controllers in life. You are your ground controller. If you don't give yourself permission, who will? Think about that. How many of us are waiting for someone else to say it's okay? Waiting for someone to come up and approach us. Waiting for someone to say yes. Waiting for even the things in our lives. Once this happens, once that happens, once the kids get out the house, then I'm going to go back and get that degree. Thank goodness LaShonda didn't say that. Right? Once this happens, once that happens, then we're going to take that family vacation. Folks, at what point do we stop waiting and we go out and start engaging in life? Like if life was a huge, juicy navel orange sitting in the palm of your hand, how do you squeeze it as hard as you can when the juice rolls down your arm and drips off your elbow? How do you squeeze the juice out of life like that? And stop waiting. And I understand there's some fear around engaging as well. I mean, yes, I was a police officer and a Marine, but now I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years running my own company. There are things that you have to go out and do. And all of us in here, we're business owners that are impacting people's lives every day. And whether we impact the life or not is our choice. So I have a challenge for you. For all of those who have that fear of rejection and the no, and it's okay, if you have the fear of rejection and the no, raise your hand, it's okay. Most people don't like it. So I have a challenge for you. Are you ready? This is your mission if you choose to accept. Like, let's reframe it. Let's transform our fear to fuel. Are you ready to do that? All right, and some of you have probably heard this before, but I want you to go out and get 100 no's. Go out to get 100 no's. And you know what happens along the way? You're gonna get the yeses, but when you get the no, does it impact you as much? No, because, that's number 29. I'm going for 30. I gotta get 70 more no's before Friday. Not that you can just drag it out, right? And every week or every month, I had a bud, we were standing in line waiting for the train, and he said, I'll be back. He went to the person behind me, hey, blah, 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 blah. Went to the person behind him, hey, blah, blah, blah. He did the whole line! I didn't even do that. But guess what? He's like at some umpteen level today. Folks, we have to be willing to engage and to do things other people aren't willing to do to help that other people don't have. Right? And I know you've heard that before, but folks, it's the truth. So I'm going to give us an opportunity to engage with each other in this moment. I'm going to yell out engage. You're going to yell back cleared hot at the top of your lungs, and we are going to blow the roof off and take out our challenges and obstacles. All right? Now, this was to be motivational, so there also has to be some kind of body movement to go with it. All right? In the cockpit of that sexy helicopter, we will pull up on the collective. That will take us farther, faster, higher. Just like the accelerator in the car, right? Now, I like to pull it up and bam, blow it up at the top. Right? So it looks like this. Engage, cleared hot, engage, cleared hot, engage, cleared hot, right? Everybody stick your fist out. Pull it back, blow it up. Engage, cleared hot, engage, cleared hot. Okay, good. You got it. All right. I'm going to yell out engage. You yell out cleared hot at the top of your lungs. Are you ready? Yes. All right. Engage!
Cleared hot!
Engage!
Cleared hot!
That's pretty good. This has a ring in here, right? But check it out, because I know we can do better. So, depending on this next one, like we've been doing some good business, depending on how we blow the roof off, we all get $1 million and a month off to spend it. Woo! I know, that's even more exciting. Are you ready? When I say engage, you say cleared hot. $1 million on the line. Engage!
Cleared hot!
Now that was hot, right? I don't even have to ask, could you tell the difference between the first 2 times and the last time? Absolutely. And the first time you made a choice on how you said it. The second time you made a conscious choice, and it's not that you weren't saying it or engaged, but the third time you took it to the next level. You were engaged. Folks, energy is tangible, it's palpable. I mean, have you ever walked into a room, 2 people are in there, they're not talking, but you know you just walked into something? I'll be back. Right? People can feel it. Have you ever gone to buy something? Like say a car, and you can tell within 5 seconds, 10 seconds that the guy's new. And you're like, can I get somebody else? How are we showing up? Because we are asking folks to engage with us every day. Every day. Or at least you should be. Every day. And are we showing up in cleared hot 1 and 2? Or are we showing up with cleared hot 3? Because folks can feel it, it's tangible, it's palpable. Do we light up the room? Are people excited to see us when we walk in? Folks, that's huge. That's everything. And when you give yourself permission to engage, because you've always had it, it's up to you to take it to the next level, well, that's when you go cleared hot, right there. Now, I know we love to be able to blow up our challenges and obstacles with this. If you need me to do a flyover, just let me know. Right? This is the helicopter I flew in and out of battle. But this is the upgraded version. 4 blades on the top, 4 on the tail rotor. Everything laying on the ground in front of that helicopter can be utilized. Now, not all at the same time, even though that would be pretty darn cool. But depending on the mission that we've been called to do, that determines what we load up on the aircraft. When you take it to the next level, Well, first, let me demonstrate. Yeah, that's good. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Not bad, not bad. You've just been told that you have to work every single day for the next 2 months, no weekends off, no additional pay. 1, 2, 3. Now you're ready. You are that sexy tech helicopter. And everything laying on the ground in front of you are your work ethic, thought process, black, white, male, female, everything that makes you, you. Just waiting to be loaded up for that next mission you have been called to do. Because folks, when we take it to the next level, we are that sexy tech helicopter. And we are the bombs, bullets, missiles. Cincy is that attack helicopter. We are the bombs, bullets, missiles waiting to be loaded up for our next mission that we have been called to do. And folks, we have an amazing mission. We are impacting lives every day. Every day. So, I just want you to keep this picture in mind. When you need to go take out an obstacle and blow some stuff up, bam. You need to take some pictures from the back. Tag me, Twitter, at Vernice Armour, Instagram, Vernice FlyGirl Armour. I love especially pictures from the back. Look at this, this is amazing, right? But folks, we have an amazing mission to do, and people are depending on us. I mean, just think if someone hadn't introduced Cincy to you. They hadn't shared it because they were afraid or, I don't want to impose. We're not begging. We're offering people a service, an opportunity to take their family to the next level. Speaking of family and engaging, and I'll go ahead and click to the next slide and you'll see this several times. Why? Because I really wanted to sink in. How you engage, when you engage, if you engage really is a choice. I mean, there are still things that I have to do, and I'm on my journey. I've always wanted a kid, and I see so many folks have brought their little ones, and it's like, oh my gosh, their little feet, they're just so amazing, right? They just smell so good, and I mean, ever since my 20s, and I'm only 22 now. I've wanted 2 kids, a little girl and a boy, right? And I went through police academy, police department, then I went into the Army, then the Marine Corps, then flight school, then deployments, then I got out, then started my business. I mean, it always felt like thing after thing after thing after thing. Next thing I know, turn around, I'm 40 years old, and it's like, okay, if I don't pull the trigger, there will be no trigger to pull, right? So, I mean, I have to take my own medicine. I mean, it really is a journey, and we hear that, all this stuff so much, but it really is a journey. It's like, once you get in shape, you don't just stop going to the gym. I mean, and I tried the once-a-year program, that doesn't work. You gotta keep going to maintain. We do have to keep growing and getting gutsy and staying gutsy, right? What is gutsy? In your gut, you know it's right, and it takes guts to do it. I call it the gutsy move. What's your gutsy move? And that's what some of us have to discover and unearth and be willing. The gutsy move. In your gut, you know it's right, and it takes guts to do it. And you all know what I'm talking about. It's that gut instinct, you know, when your gut talks to you. Let's say you're leaving your house and you're backing out, and oh man, I should go back in and get the umbrella. Oh, I'm already back. No, I'm just gonna go. And then at 12 o'clock, you have to park the furthest because there's no close parking spot, and it's pouring down raining. You're like, oh, I should have got the umbrella. You know what I'm talking about, right? Now, it's the voice. Now, how many of you have the voice? Gotcha. Now, some of you didn't raise your hand, and maybe I understand some people have multiple voices. It's the voice you can't shake. It's the one that just doesn't go away. It's unshakable. Your gutsy move. And your gutsy move is not her gutsy move or his gutsy move, and my gutsy move is not. Like, literally, billions of women have had kids. Billions. We're here. But it's a gutsy move for me. So at what point do you give yourself permission to swing for the fences? And we've been talking about it, and that's our slogan, and we've been excited. But folks, it's not just a slogan. It's for real. What if Heidi and Orville hadn't swung for the fences? What if our leaders hadn't swung for the fences? What if you hadn't swung for the fences and you're here? Not everybody's here. So we're swinging. It's just time to swing along, right? Your gutsy move, folks. It's huge. So folks have asked me, Vernice, how'd you end up as an attack helicopter pilot anyway? I said, oh, easy, quick story. All started out at the age of 4. I wanted to be a police officer that rode a horse downtown. That's right, the mounted patrol. At the age of 6, I got my very first pony. I was like, yes, I am halfway there. Right? And I grew, at a certain point you put your stake in your ground. Your stake in the ground for what you believe in. And I didn't know exactly how, the exact steps to take, but I knew you needed a horse. And I knew I had to keep going for it. And Dr. King says you don't have to see the entire staircase to take the first step, right? We don't have to know all the process. Like, how many of you are here and you haven't even been a part of the family more than a month? Raise your hand. Nice! I love it! How about 6 months? A year? Wow. And I could keep going, of course. But the point is, we might not know the whole entire process, but as long as we are taking the steps. And I'm not here to be a technical expert on sales and coaching and all that stuff, but what I do know is if you plug into the process, it absolutely works, because you have too much confirmation walking across this stage to not know that. I mean, and even me, I could go out and give all these amazing presentations, and then people would join my team, and then they would say, oh, but you're a speaker. I don't. So I don't even do that. I'll call the person, they'll set up a thing, they watch the video, then they talk to the next person, and then I turn around and say, well, can you do that? And they're like, well, you just show me a video and then put me on the phone with somebody else, and then exactly. Because that's the process, right? So we can go and reinvent all kinds of stuff, but folks, don't reinvent the wheel. Buy your own custom rims. Bling it out. But don't reinvent the wheel. Lean on your team. Lean on your family. That's why we're here. That's why we're here today. And the expo and the coaching and the branding and all the stuff, folks, utilize your tools. And in the military and as a police officer, I learned to utilize my resources and tools, because that's what helped us accomplish the mission. I graduated from high school, go to college, didn't have money to go to college with, ended up going on student loans and Pell Grants, and that set up a significant challenge. Didn't have any money to hang out, party, and recreate, so ended up, as a Marine, you're gonna figure some stuff out. And I saw this flyer, well, I wasn't a Marine yet, but I saw this flyer on the wall and it said, free trip to Mardi Gras. I said, what? Free trip to Mardi Gras, that's for me! And it fits the budget. Free, that's right. But I went over to the flyer, got a little closer. Why? To read the fine print. And it said all I had to do was join the women's ROTC rifle team. I said, oh no, that is not for me. Partying is, sign me up, right? So I joined the team. We practiced for several months and we headed down to New Orleans, Mardi Gras, New Orleans, the Big Easy. That's right. For 7 days of non-stop, non-interrupted, continuous partying. And we marched for 7 days. But what did I learn? That you have to prepare for your passion. That you have to keep building for your passion. And I knew I couldn't be a police officer till I was 21. I was 18, but what could I do? Join the United States Army. I joined the reserves, I did. I took the semester off, went through training, came back in the summer, made up all my classes. The next semester, that next school year, I said I wanted to leverage what I call the strategic advantage. So I joined ROTC as an actual cadet. How you engage folks is a choice. Leverage your strategic advantage. First, you gotta see them. So I went through ROTC. That next summer, what happened completely changed my life and put me here in the room with you today. It's advanced leadership training, summer, 6 weeks, hot summer sun. 5 weeks in, it's career day. I want to do anything, because it's all about preparation for me, right? I want to do anything where you can shoot a gun or blow something up. And my battle buddy is on an aviation contract. I wanted nothing to do with aviation. So, but you can't split up with your battle buddy, so she had to go with me everywhere. We're looking at special forces, Green Beret, Sniper Platoon, Delta Force. And around 12:30, she said, Armour, can we please go to the aviation tent now? Fine. Black people don't even fly. Now we know that's not true. But folks, let me say, it is about access and exposure. Are you giving yourself the access and the exposure to take it to the next level? Because you don't know what you don't know, right? We go across, we walk into the tent. You know how it takes a second for your eyes to adjust when you walk into a dimly lit room? Look towards the back, black woman in a flight suit. I said, what? That is cool! Why didn't I do that? And my battle buddy's like, I told you, right? Folks, I call it the tangibility of the possibility. I could see her, touch her, talk to her, ask her questions. Just like being here with our team, with our family. See them, touch them, ask them questions. When you see, I mean, it's the tangible. It's real. Folks, it's real. We just have to give ourselves the push to engage and do it. And like I said, you're gonna see this every time. It's gonna come back around because it really is a choice. How we do it, when we do it, if we engage. So I go through college, I get an invite to the National Police Academy. It's amazing. I become a police officer, just like Cops on TV. Have you all seen Cops? Oh, yeah. Did you see me? Okay, I'll take that as a no. I even rode horses downtown. Oh, Harley Davidson, Road King, Steel Horse. And I'll be honest with you, after a few years, I couldn't forget about that woman in the flight suit. So I left the department, became a Marine, drove cross country, went through officer candidate school, went through flight school, graduated with my Pensacola Wings of Gold on July 21st, 2001. It was awesome. I mean, I was a pilot. And I was driving north on I-5, Southern California. I was stationed at Camp Pendleton right there in San Diego. Yeah, SoCal in the house. Less than 60 days later, I'm riding up north. Announcer breaks in and says the Pentagon has just been struck. I could ask anyone in here, probably where you were, who told you, or how you found out about the news of 9/11. You probably remember it like it was yesterday. In that moment, I knew my life had changed. When I got to the squadron, we all knew we were going somewhere soon. Within what felt like months, we found ourselves in Iraq. The war started up, the war raged on, the war ended. Things slowed down, and our lead tactics instructor said, all right, we're gonna have a tactics test. And I said, whoa, sir, wait a minute, a tactics test? He's like, yeah, we gotta get back to training, things have slowed down, you should always be studying armor. I was like, but, sir, I've been out flying combat missions, I haven't been studying. He's like, you should always be studying. You never know everything about the aircraft or combat. I said, but I'm going up on another combat mission, I'm not even gonna be here, I'm gonna be gone for 4 days. Armor, we're taking the test when you get back. I said, okay, got it. So I got my tactical manuals, which was about this thick, safety manuals, which was about that thick, various other manuals, piled them in my attack helicopter to do what I called studying over the next 4 days. Got back down into our chow hall, and the instructor had PowerPoint up on the wall. And he started clicking through the slides. Each slide had a question on it. 15 minutes into that test, I knew I wasn't doing so hot. I mean, have you ever been talking to someone, showing them the video or slides, or just even trying to just take them to a party, and this is not going well? Yeah, next day, confirmed. I had bombed. And honestly, I was devastated. I felt like the flight suit was just being ripped off of my body. I mean, you've heard some of my bio, first this, first that. I knew that people were looking at me to judge and assess how are women going to do in combat? How are women going to handle the stress? How are women going to get along with the guys? How are women going to handle that aircraft? I mean, I felt like I'd let women down. I felt like I'd let black folks down. I felt like I'd let the Marine Corps down. But most of all, I felt like I'd let the guys in the squadron down. I didn't see the true potential of what I or any other woman or minority could do. And I passed the test the next week with flying colors, but that wasn't the point. I didn't pass the test the first time when everyone was watching. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but I like being on the fast track. And when you fail a tactics test, they don't keep you on the fast track. You do your 2 deployments, and then they move you on to your next tour. Mine was Headquarters Marine Corps, where I became a diversity officer liaison to the Pentagon. You gotta accessorize. So as being a diversity officer liaison to the Pentagon, I was in the Equal Opportunity Division. And I was upset, I was ticked, to put it mildly. I said, equal opportunity? How did I end up in equal opportunity? They said, well, Armour, they wanted a black female pilot. I said, I'm the only one, how equal is that? I learned a new phrase, bloom where you're planted. Bloom where you're planted. I might not have been where I wanted to be, but I knew I was going to do an outstanding job and get where I knew I could be. And I ended up going to all these conferences, and I've been speaking a little bit, community outreach. And when I was going to these conferences, I saw people speaking on stage, and I said, whoa, wait a minute, you mean they get paid for that? New dream was born. And after a meeting, I was sitting in the car talking to my bud. She'd been in the Marine Corps over 26 years, wasn't a single thing that I could say that she wouldn't understand. And I'll be honest, outside the car, I probably was complaining, but inside the car, it was girl talk. And I said, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did he do this? Why did they do that? Oh, why did I fail that tactics test? Had I only passed that tactics test and stayed on the fast track, I'd have gone to WTI, Top Gun, and additional deployment, all that stuff, right? And here I am going on. If I'd only passed that tactics test, I'd have been that instructor pilot. I'd have been that test pilot. I'd be training that new guy in the front seat. I would be back in Iraq right now with the rest of my squadron. And I had to stop because I would have been back in Iraq with the rest of my squadron. I wouldn't have been here to discover the new dream of starting my own business and sharing this message really around the world, working with women, coaching them in confidence and courage, helping them take it to the next level. I mean, I am walking my purpose on the planet, and I know not everyone can say that, right? Wouldn't have been here when my dad was diagnosed with terminal bone cancer and able to go home and visit him over 6 times in 1 year. When there were some years I couldn't even go home for Christmas or Thanksgiving because I was thousands of miles away. Wouldn't have been here when my mom called me on a Tuesday afternoon. And her birthday was coming up on Saturday. Dad was back in the hospital for routine blood work. She wanted to know if I could come home and said, Mom, I just can't make it. I've already been home 6 times and the colonel's not letting anyone else. No, there's no vacation right now. We're just, so much is going on. And I could hear the sadness in her voice. Have you ever, just talk to your people on the phone and you can just hear it oozing out of the phone? Well, I hung up the phone. I immediately booked a ticket on Travelocity. Then I went into the colonel's office. Excuse me, sir, I need to take a couple days vacation. I know, but I already bought a ticket. Yeah, he did not laugh. But luckily, he did let me go home. And I walk into the house, hey Mom, surprise, happy birthday. She's like, oh man, it was awesome. Then we head up to the hospital to see Dad. And Dad was my favorite Marine. I mean, he was 3 tours Vietnam, crew chief on a 46, played football for the Colts when they were back in Baltimore, worked construction. Straight. My dad is my American hero. We got there at 2 o'clock. I heard Dad whisper happy birthday in Mom's ear. By 6:07, Dad passed away. Les Brown has a saying, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. There were so many times I said, why did I fail that tactics test? When sitting in the car that night with my bud, I finally got it. Failing that tactics test put me in the room with my dad that day. What a blessing. And after years, literally years of regret, wishing I could have just changed this answer, that answer, this answer, wishing I could have just changed a couple answers so then I could be doing this and Top Gun and that. I knew I wouldn't change a single thing on that test. Now, I wouldn't fail one in the future, but I wouldn't change a single thing about that one. Folks, why did I change my clothes? Because life is about transition. It's about going from where you are to where you want to be. And everything in that flight suit is now in this flight suit. And notice I look a whole lot more like you right now because we are all in our flight suits, sitting in the cockpit of that sexy attack helicopter. And when we run into a challenge, an obstacle, you know, we could fly side to side, we can stop, hover, think about it for a minute, we can even fly backwards, go around. I like to say, who needs a runway? Take off from where you are, right? And his great grandmother would say, something good's gonna come out of this. That's right. And why do we do what we do? Folks, it's about this right here. It's about the crew. It's about the family. Look to your left and your right. Look at this huge room full of us, the family. That's my bud, Mr. Cartwright. Ironically enough, we're on the Syrian border, and my crew had been flying night missions for a little over 3 months. Her crew had just come out to replace mine, so I'm headed back to the main base in the Good Child. She's not. That's why I'm smiling bigger than she is. But she saved my butt on the battlefield more times than I could ever tell you. Absolutely amazing. She's my friend to this day. And I know there have been friendships and bonds formed here that had we not been a part of this family, that never would have existed. That's why we're here. And I am a part of the family now, and I want to stay engaged. And I do. So, it's all about getting gutsy and staying gutsy. Living gutsy, right? But staying gutsy. And yes, you have heard me talk about engagement and getting gutsy. So I want you to take out your phone. Who are you engaging with every day? Go to your text messages. Who are the top 5 people in your list that you have been texting with, say in the last 24 hours? We are here to engage and take our lives and our families to the next level. Who are the people that are supporting you? Who are your top 5? All right, now here's the question. If everybody on that list isn't supporting you, then I need to be on your list. So, text FlyGirl to 72,000. There we go. FlyGirl, all one word.
I texted you last night.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, I mean, we've been hanging. She's like, I texted you last night. She has the backbone. Yep. Text FlyGirl to 72,000. Now, why would you do that? Because I created a 3-part video series of overcoming challenges and obstacles just for you. I talked about some of my story and some of the challenges as a business owner that I ran into. Because again, we're running a business in here. We're trying to take our family to the next level. And there's a little Cincy surprise at the end of video 3. So I wanted to give that as a gift to you all. There's also a download, the Gutsy Move. What are the action steps you guys can take to create your Gutsy Move? Because today, you know, I told some stories and they feel good and they help you move forward, but I really want you to have some tangible things that can help you take it to the next level. So I hope these 3 videos and that action to take, folks, it's not a gutsy thought. It's a gutsy move, right? So take it to the next level. Actually, go back to that. I'll be in the expo, but that's not what this is about. Who would like a copy of this book? Because it has some stuff in it. They take forever to get up. They don't get it. And one woman, she said, oh my God, I thought I was so engaged and you actually wanted the book, and I raised my hand and other people started saying they wanted it, and I yelled and somebody stood up and I stood in my chair and then somebody else went up and got the book. She said, I thought I was engaged, but what I realized is there's a next level of engagement. Folks, our businesses can be in a completely different place by this time next year if we choose to engage at a different level, right? So I'll see you in the expo because you can still engage. Sometimes it had bullet holes in it, saved me from them. This is a picture of one of my breakthroughs. Oprah was absolutely amazing. And next slide. This is just a cool picture of me in the cockpit. Every pilot has one. Slide. And this is me giving away an award. Folks, this is what it's really about, the next generation, right? And she's getting an award for STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And, that's huge. And after a presentation, people will always say, oh, was that your little daughter? I was like, oh, but I've always wanted one, and you trigger. So I decided to make my gutsy move. And in January 2015, as a single woman entrepreneur running around, I decided to go through in vitro. It worked the very first time. And my baby has arrived. She's so juicy. Remember when we did the Clear Hot Engage? Folks, it's what's your $1 million? That's all it's about, what's your $1 million? My life has forever been changed because of one gutsy decision, one gutsy move, one saying yes to me. Are you willing to say yes to you, to engage and to go for your gutsy move? One mission, one goal, one team. I'll leave you with this. I was in the hospital, well, I wasn't in the hospital. I went to an appointment at the hospital. I'm standing in line, I'm talking to the Marine in front of me, and I said, hey Marine, what's going on? Why are you here? And he says, well ma'am, I have some shrapnel in my left leg. I said, whoa, shrapnel, were you recently deployed? He said, yes ma'am, Iraq, 11th U. I said, hey, I was on the 11th U. I was your Cobra air support. He said, oh ma'am, you fly Cobras? We were in Iraq. We were in the cemetery, we were pinned down, we didn't have any ammunition to shoot back with. A Cobra came in, shot a missile. I said, what? So that sounds like a mission I was on. We paired it up, same mission, same aircraft, same missile. And we're all not in the psych ward. Heidi, where you at? Yet. And then he stopped. And he just stared at me. He said, ma'am, you saved my life. But Cincy, that's what we do. One mission, one goal, one one team, one Cincy, one family. We are impacting lives every day. So hey, when things get tough, remember, acknowledge the obstacles, don't give them power. Remember great-grandmother, something good's gonna come out of this. And remember, most of all, you have permission to engage. So I'm gonna give you one more opportunity to engage with me today. When I say cleared hot, well, when I say engage, you say cleared hot, and we are gonna blow it up.